Negative numbers and the number line. Chapter 2, Lesson 1, Part 1. Vocabulary terms. Remember, write these in your notebook. Negative numbers are numbers less than or to the left of 0 on the number line. Opposite. All numbers have opposites. The opposite of a number is the number that is the same distance from 0 on the number line, but in the opposite direction. So for example, the opposite of positive 7 is negative 7, and the opposite of negative 52 is positive 52. Negative numbers can be used in all types of real-world situations. The most consistent time you see negative numbers is in money. A credit of $690. A credit means it's positive. A debit of $325 means it's negative. It means that you owe something. That's what a debit means, that it's owed. In temperatures, we definitely know that we can get below 0 here in Milwaukee. So we always have positive temperatures like we do right now, 30 degrees. But again, we can get below 0, negative 5 degrees. So anything below 0, just like on a vertical number line. So if 0 was here, anything under it is negative. And anything above it is positive. In football, we often hear negative. A loss of yardage in football, they count as negative. But if someone's gaining yards, they're moving forward with the ball, it's positive. And then lastly, the most common time negatives are used are sea level. So above sea level would be positive and below is negative. Just a note here, at sea level is 0. That's where it's 0 feet. So let's use those clues and those terms to determine if a number would be positive or negative. 56 degrees Fahrenheit above 0. That above word is a huge clue. Above means it's just going to be a positive 56 degrees. Number 8, 17,500 feet below sea level. Below, again, is your key word. So you know this would be negative. Okay. Number 9, a credit of 810. Again, credit is your key word. A credit means you're getting money. So this is just positive 810. Number 10, 48 feet below. Again, key term there, below 0. So this is 48 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 11, a loss of 45 yards. A loss means you're going backwards. So that's negative 45 yards. I'll abbreviate. Number 12, a debit of $1,368. Again, debit means you're owing. So negative 1,368. The negative sign's a little low. I'll adjust that for you. Negative $1,368. Number 13, a gain of 27 yards. Gain is a key word. You're going forward. Again, this would be a football example. 27 yards, just positive. And lastly, 14, 8,848 meters above sea level. Because it's above, it stays positive. Just want to emphasize that with our positive numbers, we just use the number, like in 56 here. We don't need a plus sign in front of it. We know it's positive because there's nothing in front of it. But with negatives, you must have that negative sign to show it's negative. Negative numbers on a number line are slightly different only because the numbers are going what seems to be backwards. So we're starting at 0 and then we're counting back. -1, -2, in this example, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. When you go again to the left of 0, your numbers go in backwards order. So if you think about it, if your football is right here in an example, and your guy gets pushed back 1 yard, that's a negative 1 yard. If he gets pushed back 7 yards, that's a negative 7. Okay. So if you observe the number line in class, you can always see up there that the negative numbers go backwards. So here we have the opportunity to fill in some negative number lines. Because they kind of move backwards, I always like to start at the right and count backwards this way. And like I talked about with positive number lines, we want to determine the interval by looking at two numbers together. Negative 65 to negative 66, it's just an interval of 1. So I know I'm going backwards by 1. So negative 65, negative 66, negative 67, negative 68, negative 69, negative 70, negative 71, negative 72, negative 73, negative 74, negative 75. Okay, and same thing here. We're going to look for an interval of two numbers next to each other. Negative 84 and negative 85. Again, that's just an interval of 1. So the number to the right of it would be one negative number less. So negative 83. Here, negative 87, negative 88. And negative 90 would move back to negative 91. So if you're drawing a number line, it is just like number lines that you drew for positive numbers. Please just remember, I'm sorry, mine's not perfect. Please just remember that you want to keep your intervals consistent and you want to follow your parameters. So here I see my lowest number is negative 7. So that'll be my last number here. And this one is positive 5, my highest number. That brings up a good point. I want to talk about to you that positive numbers are always greater than negatives, no matter what. So that's why positive numbers are always to the right of negatives on your number line. So now we can fill in the rest. Negative 6. And in your examples, they put the dot there to show they're representing it. Negative 5. Again, they asked us for that one. They put a dot there. Negative 4. We're putting it in there because we're going at an interval of 1, but it's not included, so we wouldn't put a dot. Negative 3. Negative 2 is not included, but negative 1 is. Then we have 0, 1, 2, and I got a little squished. 3, they did ask us to put that one there. 4, and the 5. So that's what it would look like on your answer key. Negative numbers on a vertical number line are working just like the horizontal. They seem to go in the backwards direction of the positives. Because again, if we're talking about digging, if we dig down 1 foot, we're 1 foot below ground or sea level. So then as we keep going, we're getting deeper. We're down 2 feet, down 3 feet. So in our example here, again, I'm going to check for my interval. Negative 17 to negative 18, it's an interval of 1. So now I just fill in. Negative 15, what will come next, of course, is negative 16. Negative 18 would go to negative 19 would be next. And of course, negative 21 here. So we can practice drawing a vertical number line. These are the numbers they want represented. Lesson 2. Absolute value means the distance of... Sorry for that slight interruption, but again, these are the numbers that we have here. My highest value, remember, because we're negative, is actually going to be my negative 17. So that's what I'm going to put at the top of my vertical number line. Negative 17, it's represented. I'm going to go to negative 18. That's also asked for. Negative 19, negative 20. So again, I'm still going to include negative 21, negative 22, negative 23, negative 24 they asked for, so I put that dot there. Negative 25, and negative 26. That's my lowest one. Can imagine you're digging down, you're going deeper. Earlier when I talked about vocabulary, I told you that opposites were just the number on the number line that is the same distance from 0. So if it's a positive, it's going to be that same digit with a negative sign in front of it. So positive 21's opposite is negative 21. Negative 9's opposite is positive 9. Pretty simple. So 10's opposite would be negative 10. Negative 15's opposite would be positive 15. 87 would be negative 87. Here would be 62, 138, and negative 251.